Hey, it's Scott from Family Wheels, and I'm pretty happy right now. And the reason that is because I am behind the wheel of a big truck. This is the GMC Sierra AT4, and I think that trucks in general are some of the best vehicles you can get for a family. Obviously, they got a lot of space for all of your gear. They can get you almost anywhere you need to go. These days, they're becoming pretty stinking fuel efficient and also high tech. Tons of bells and whistles available. And just the cabin in general is so great. There's so much space in here. Actually, one of the passengers that I had along with me this week commented, "It's like being in a limo." It's awesome. Now, that said, this particular truck has some pretty cool quirks as well that make it, I might say, even better. But it still begs the question, is it the right vehicle for you and your growing family? We'll find out. It's the GMC Sierra AT4 this week on Family Wheels. So as good as this truck appears to be at the outset, I will say that it's not without its drawbacks, as any vehicle has. Nothing is perfect, right? We'll get into some of that. One of the things in particular is the gas mileage. We have a great big 6.2 liter V8 in here. Makes it fun to drive, but it's pretty stinking thirsty. GM say to expect around 13.7 liters per 100 kilometers combined city and highway driving. In our real world testing though, that number was a bit higher, coming in at 15.5 liters per 100 kilometers combined city and highway, which works out to about 15.7 US miles per gallon. So not the worst thing on gas, but not exactly fuel efficient either. The AT4 trim on the 1500 Sierra starts at around 58,000 Canadian, with our test model here coming in at just over 71,000 Canadian, basically fully loaded out the door. Some of the other things that I really love about it, like I said, as soon as you get into the cockpit here, you feel like, yeah, you're just in a luxury ride. Beautiful leather, great trim. The fit and finish is really just outstanding. There's tons of storage throughout the cockpit, two great sized cup holders here. This little tray also has wireless charging, which I've talked about is one of my favorite things. And if I had the option to get it, I would definitely get it in my vehicle. You don't think it's a big thing, but once you lose that wire there, it's just so convenient to not have it. So I like having that. Nice little cell phone holder here in the armrest as well, and of course tons of storage space underneath the armrest. Through the back we get a couple more cup holders and some great USB support in the back as well. We also get USB up here. Just tons of like nice little perks. Options wise, there are lots of different ways that you could equip your AT4, starting of course with the engine. There's a 5.3 liter V8, good for 355 horsepower and 383 foot-pounds of torque, or like we have here, the larger 6.2 liter V8 that makes 420 horses and 460 pound-feet. They can both carry over 2,000 pounds payload and tow up to 9,400 pounds, and you can get a short or standard sized box. The truck also comes standard with a 2-inch suspension lift and skid plates for off-road credibility, the AT4 being the Sierra's most off-road oriented trim. You can also opt for things like 20-inch rims, a box-mounted 120-volt outlet, which is an awesome feature if you like camping or charging tools on a job site. You can get heated seats in the front and back, and all the driver safety stuff you'd expect with lane keep assist, cross traffic alert, and low speed forward automatic braking. In the back seat, tons of legroom for passengers, more than you could ever want. The seats are comfy, and I love how you can fold them up one-handed to get yourself so much room inside if you have something big to move that you don't want to put in the bed. There's also these great storage compartments in the seats too for little things you'd like to keep in the vehicle, stuff like emergency supplies or tools, things like that. The infotainment system is also fantastic. It kind of blew me away. I wasn't really expecting this, but the response time to the inputs and things is just outstanding in the Sierra. The screen is beautiful. It's easy to see even in like glaring daylight. Nice colors, but it's not like over the top, like look at me. Very responsive. Bluetooth connectivity was never an issue. In the AT4 here, we get a Bose surround system, so obviously the sound is fantastic. We get an 8-inch display system with a very clean and responsive touch screen. Like, it was so nice to touch something on the screen and see it respond almost instantly and accurately, but to also get nice big tactile buttons as well on the dash for infotainment and climate control. It's a great system, and the screen looks good too. Lots of color, but bold and clean design. The steering wheel controls, however, were well laid out, but a bit delayed in their response. The backup camera system here is amazing. You get multiple angles plus an overhead view of the truck, which basically makes parking a breeze. It worked really well, very accurate too. And another cool thing that I want to address here in the infotainment system is the rear view mirror. Now, it's a mirror, but it's also a digital screen. We don't have a canopy on this truck, but let's say hypothetically you did, and you stacked it full of stuff to the point that you couldn't use your rear view mirror. You simply flip a switch and it changes from a mirror to a camera output. So there's a camera mounted on the back of the truck, and it sees everything that you would see in the rear view mirror and projects that digitally in the mirror. It's a bit weird at first, but once you get used to it, you can't help but think, wow, this is pretty stinking cool to be able to have that. It's also great at night, actually. I found that the quality of the picture there at night is often better than the straight up mirror would give you. So that's a nice feature too. It also impressed the passengers that I had in the car over our week of testing as well. Some more thoughts on the bed system here as well, because it's definitely one of the best things about the truck too. And basically everyone who saw me use this feature thought it was just one of the coolest things. You get a multi-function tailgate that can work as a step system to make getting in and out really easy and convenient, and also makes loading bigger things easier too. You can also use it as a work shelf. You got a handle here to help you in and out. You can fold it in various ways. It's super cool. And if that's not enough, we also get these great steps cut into the bumper for a quick leap into the box. Very innovative, great stuff here. In terms of our standardized testing, obviously a truck is just going to excel in almost every category. Rear-facing car seat test, huge. You can have the front seat all the way back as far as it goes and still have a rear-facing car seat there with just tons of room. We're talking like 36 inches from the back of the front passenger seat to the glove box. Just huge. Putting the car seat in, it's not a latch cover system like we see in lots of cars these days, but there are cutouts in the seats. It's all finished really nicely. It doesn't look bad, but pretty much direct access right to the latch system there. Like I said, not as easy as those covers, but still pretty stinking easy to find the latches there. Standardized trunk test, come on, you have a full truck bed to fit that stroller, diaper bag, backpack, 2 bags of groceries, and a soccer ball. I think you could fit like that whole standardized test 3 times over and still get the locking tonneau cover closed. So yeah, no issues with the standardized trunk test here. Tons and tons and tons of space. Decibel test, yeah, okay, this might be one of the areas the truck is a bit weak. It's pretty loud. We do have that big 6.2 liter V8 I was mentioning, and the exhaust is pretty throaty as well, which I like. You also get here on the AT4 some pretty meaty tires that don't make for the quietest drive. So 100 kilometers an hour on dry roads, we came in at about 64, 65 decibels, which isn't, like I said, the quietest thing, but I don't know, I think it sounds pretty cool for a truck, so it's not a huge deal to me. And of course, finally, the look back test, all important. I think this thing just looks great. Tons of compliments on it throughout the week. It looks big and aggressive on the road, but it's finished nicely. It's not like over the top, like an in-your-face truck. You know, it's very classy and subtle. I like the red tow hooks on the front. They're kind of a nice splash. Red GMC logo across the back. Very cool. And like, I would be proud to drive this thing just for the way it looks. I would definitely find myself looking back pretty regularly, I think. Definitely passes the look back test for me. Okay, so let's talk about how the Sierra drives. It's a big truck, so you feel like you're taking up a lot of the road. So if you're looking at a truck, I would say that that's something you might need to get used to. But once you're used to it, like I said, I just love it. I love sitting high up. I feel like you get a nice perspective of the road. And I just like, you know, you sort of feel safer, I think, is one of the elements of it, because you're kind of above a lot of the traffic that's happening on the roads. You feel like there's just more around you, more space for your passengers in the event of a collision, heaven forbid. But it feels like, you know, sort of a bit lofty. It's not like you're getting tight sort of performance style steering, but you know, you feel the power for sure. Like I said, massive V8 in this truck, really picks up when you step on it. It's commanding, I think, is a good word for it. Personally, I like it. Might take you just a bit of time to get used to it, but as far as trucks go, this one is just a joy to be in. And I don't find driving it too bad at all. I live in a very busy, very congested city. I didn't find parking it too difficult. And that backup camera system is just fantastic at helping you out with parallel parking there as well. Definitely not a problem. And like I said, once you get used to it, you're really going to enjoy driving it, I think. So all in all, to me, the GMC Sierra AT4 is a big winner. Like I said, full-size pickup, looks great, commanding presence on the road, basically no single task that you could chuck at it that it wouldn't be able to handle. Skiing, snowboarding, camping, taking all of the kids and all of their friends and the dog and everything wherever you need to go. Tons of room, just fantastic experience with the truck. Now, a couple of downsides, of course. It's expensive right out of the gate, but it's an investment like so many things. And like I said before, it's pretty thirsty at the pump. I think if you drove this specific vehicle in this configuration, you'd have to really learn some restraint and keep your foot out of it, because, you know, it's pretty great when you get that throaty exhaust noise and the truck picks up. It's a blast, but like I said, it's gonna hit your wallet, so be prepared for that. But otherwise, yeah, like I said, fantastic experience here in the GMC AT4. If you can afford it, I think you would be really, really happy with this. Might take you some time to get used to driving it and such, but yeah, if you chose the GMC Sierra AT4, I think you'd probably be pretty stoked getting in your vehicle every single day. The only downside, of course, is everybody's going to be asking you to help move. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give us a like or a subscribe or even a comment. I would love to hear from you, or let me know what car you would like to see reviewed in the future. Some exciting stuff coming up as well. For Family Wheels, I'm Scott.